Have you ever felt like your mind just won't stop thinking? Like no matter how quiet the room is, your thoughts are loud? What if the real noise in your life isn't outside, but inside your own head? Why does your brain replay the same worries again and again? Why do you keep thinking about what someone said, what you could have done differently, or what might happen tomorrow? Even when you're lying in bed, ready to sleep, your mind doesn't let you. Imagine this. You're holding a glass of water. It's light at first, but if you hold it for hours, your hand starts to ache. That's exactly what happens with thoughts. One small worry may seem harmless, but if you keep holding on to it, it becomes painful. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore powerful ideas to help you live in peace and strength. If you're someone who wants to stop overthinking, feel lighter, and take control of your mind, then you're in the right place. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. Why? If this video gives you even one new thought, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. It helps more than you think. Let's be honest. Life is not easy. We carry too much. Opinions, expectations, pressure, pain, all of it clutters our mind. And slowly, we forget what it feels like to simply be. Buddhism teaches us one very deep truth. Suffering comes from attachment. The more we attach to things, people, outcomes, or even our own thoughts, the more trapped we feel. To free your mind, you don't need to add more. You need to let go. Let go of the fear of what others will think. Let go of needing to be perfect. Let go of replaying the past. It's not about running away. It's about learning how to release, to breathe, to be okay with what is. When the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, he didn't gain knowledge from books. He gained clarity by looking within. That's where your freedom lives, within you. This is just the beginning. Stay with this journey, because once you learn to free your mind, your life will never feel the same again. Let's walk this path together. Unhooking from desires, the first step to inner peace. Sit down, dear one. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath slow. Today, I will tell you something very old and very simple. But don't mistake simple for small. In truth, what you're about to hear holds the power to change your entire life. Not in some magical way, but in the most real and silent way. Let us begin. Have you ever watched a fish caught on a hook? It thrashes, it struggles, it twists with all its energy, but the hook holds tight. That's what desire does to your mind. It promises something sweet, something exciting, something better, but once you bite, it pulls you in, and it doesn't let go easily. Desire is not just about money or love or fame. It can be subtle. The desire to be liked, the desire to win, the desire to be seen a certain way, the desire to not feel pain, the desire for things to go your way. It hides in your thoughts. It wears 1,000 masks, and slowly, it traps your mind. You want peace, don't you? You want to feel calm, steady, light inside. But peace cannot grow in a mind filled with craving. If your thoughts are always saying, I want, I need, I must have, how can silence grow there? A calm mind is not full. A calm mind is empty. Let me tell you a story, passed through many generations. A young monk once came to the Zen Master and asked, Master, how can I be free from suffering? The Master simply said, drop it. The monk was confused. Drop what? The Master smiled, whatever you're holding. Simple, isn't it? But we don't drop things. We hold them tighter. We think, if I just get this one thing, then I'll be okay. But that one thing turns into 10, then 20. And before we know it, we are buried under a mountain of wants. You don't need more. You need less. Buddha taught, desire is the root of suffering. He didn't say desire is bad. He said it is the root, meaning all the things that disturb your mind, your worry, your fear, your jealousy, they often start because you wanted something, and either you didn't get it or you were scared to lose it. Look at your life. Truly look. So much of your stress comes from chasing things. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a certain feeling or image of success. And maybe, deep inside, you're exhausted. Not because you're weak, but because you're hooked. You don't need to throw everything away, but you do need to see clearly. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me breathe, or is it tightening my chest? That's how you begin to unhook. When you notice the desire rise, pause. When your mind says, I must have this, ask, must I? When your heart says, I can't be happy without this, ask, really? This questioning is not to destroy your dreams. It is to remove their chains. Freedom is not about having nothing. Freedom is about not needing everything. The sun rises every morning. It does not ask for applause. The trees grow, whether people admire them or not. Water flows around obstacles. It doesn't try to control the path. Nature is free because it doesn't desire recognition, reward, or reassurance. It just is. Can you learn to be like that? A free mind is not one that has no dreams. A free mind is one that smiles, even if the dream changes. That accepts today without needing tomorrow to be perfect. So how do you begin? One small step at a time. Today, when you feel a craving arise, pause. Notice it. Watch it like you would watch a passing cloud. Don't act. Don't fight it. Just watch. You'll see it fades. Then tomorrow, do the same. And soon, you will find that your cravings no longer control you. They still come, but you're no longer hooked. Remember, you're not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. You are not your desire. You are the space in which desire appears and disappears. When you learn to sit in that space, when you learn to let things come and go, you will feel the weight in your chest lighten. Your eyes will become softer, your breath deeper, your mind quieter. And in that silence, you will meet yourself. Not the self that is chasing something, not the self that is running from something, but the self that just is calm, alive, and unshaken. That is the beginning of real peace. Do not rush. This journey is not about speed. It is about depth. Each day, let go of one thought, one pressure, one craving. Slowly, like leaves falling from a tree, your attachments will drop. And underneath, you will discover something surprising. You were never empty. You were always full, just not in the way you thought. Now go. Walk gently. Watch closely. Unhook yourself, one thought at a time. And soon, you will not just understand freedom. You will become it. Observing the mind, from chaos to clarity. Sit comfortably. Let your eyes relax. Let your breath come and go, just like waves touching the shore. Now, listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Today, I will not ask you to believe anything. I will not give you something to remember. Instead, I will invite you to do something very old, very quiet, and very powerful. I will teach you how to observe your mind. Yes, not fight it, not control it, not force it to stop. Just observe. Let's begin. Have you noticed how the mind keeps running? Even when you are tired, even when your body is still, your thoughts move. One thought leads to another, and suddenly you are deep inside a memory, a worry, a plan, or a fear. Sometimes you smile at your thoughts. Sometimes you cry. Sometimes you feel angry or anxious, and you don't even know why. This is because the mind is like a river, constantly flowing, and most people are drowning in that river. But you're learning to stand on the shore, to observe. That is the beginning of clarity. Let me tell you a story. A student once asked the Buddha, "What is the difference between a wise person and a foolish one?" The Buddha replied, "The wise person watches their thoughts. The fool becomes them." What does this mean? It means most people believe every thought that comes to their mind. If the mind says, "I'm not good enough," they believe it. If the mind says, "This is terrible," they react with fear or anger. If the mind says, "I need this to be happy," they chase it endlessly. But the wise one simply watches, like clouds passing in the sky, not holding, not pushing, just watching. You see, the thoughts in your head are not you. They are just movements, patterns, habits, sometimes helpful, sometimes not. And you have the power to observe them without becoming them. This is a deep and beautiful practice. It does not need a temple. It does not need a teacher. It only needs your presence. So how do you observe the mind? Start small. When a thought appears, don't grab it. Don't run with it. Just look at it. For example, a thought appears, "I'm a failure." Instead of reacting, pause. Notice it. Say in your heart, "This is a thought." Don't fight it. Don't agree with it. Just watch it. In that moment, you are no longer the thought. You're the awareness behind the thought. This is freedom. It may not seem powerful at first, but this simple act of observing creates space, and in that space the storm weakens. You begin to see clearly. You begin to notice patterns, how the mind always blames, how it worries about things that haven't happened, how it holds onto the past, how it compares, how it fears. This is not to judge your mind. It is to understand it. Your mind is not your enemy. It is just wild like a young horse. If you scream at it, it runs faster. If you ignore it, it grows more restless. But if you observe it with gentle awareness, it begins to calm, and slowly you can guide it. When you sit quietly, even for 5 minutes, and observe the mind without getting involved, something amazing happens. You begin to notice silence. Not the silence of the room, the silence inside you. That silence is always there, but the noise of thinking covers it up. It's like a still pond disturbed by wind. You can't see your reflection in the ripples. But when the wind stops, the surface becomes clear. And there, you meet yourself. That is clarity. Clarity is not about having all the answers. Clarity is about seeing things as they are, without the fog of emotion or fear or noise. Let me share something with you. Even after years of practice, the mind will still wander. Thoughts will still come. That's not failure. That's the nature of the mind. The practice is not to stop thinking. The practice is to stop following every thought. You are like a watcher on a mountain. Thoughts are the clouds. Let them come. Let them go. The sky does not hold the clouds. You don't need to hold your thoughts either. Some days, the clouds will be heavy, stormy. That's okay. Just watch. Some days, the sky will be clear. That's okay too. Just remain the watcher. In time, you'll see something beautiful. You'll notice how much lighter your mind feels when you don't chase every worry. You'll notice how much peace comes when you just observe a negative thought instead of arguing with it. You'll notice how free you feel when you stop reacting to every emotion. This is the path of the peaceful one. This is how the Buddha walked. Not with force, not with control, but with deep awareness. Every moment you observe your mind without judgment, you take a step toward that same peace. Now listen, there is no finish line in this journey. You are not trying to win against the mind. You're trying to be with it gently, like a friend watching another friend dream. This is not a technique. It is a way of living. Start in the morning. When you wake up, before touching your phone, just sit for 1 minute. Close your eyes and observe, what is the mind saying? Don't change anything. Just notice. Then do this again in the evening, and again in between moments of your day. When you are walking, waiting, breathing. It's not hard, but it is quiet, and the world has forgotten how to be quiet. You are remembering, and that remembrance will take you far, much farther than effort alone ever could. Let your mind be a garden. Let thoughts come and go like birds. Let the soil be soft with attention, not hard with control. And one day, without forcing anything, a flower will bloom inside you. That flower is clarity. That flower is you. So now go. Observe your mind with no goal. Let dance. Let rest. Let storm. But do not become it. And you will discover what most people never find. A calm mind and a free heart. Breaking the illusion. Understanding the self. Come closer. Sit with me again. Let the day slow down. Let your breath soften. You've been carrying so much, thoughts, expectations, ideas about who you are and who you must become. But today, let's do something brave. Let's talk about something people fear more than failure, more than loneliness. Let's talk about the self. Not your name, not your age, not your job, role, or position. No, not the surface. Let's talk about the deep self, the one you've been searching for in every mirror, every compliment, every plan and goal. Let me ask you something, and answer not from your mind, but from your heart. Who are you? Think about it slowly. If you say, I'm Rahul, or I'm Priya, I'll ask again, who is that? If you say, I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I'm a student, I'll ask again, is that all you are? If you say, I'm a good person, I'm broken, I'm strong, I'm not enough, these are just stories, aren't they? Stories you've told yourself. Stories others have told you. Repeated so often that you started believing them. But are they you? Let's go deeper. When you were 5 years old, you had certain thoughts, desires, fears. Then at 15, they changed. At 25, they changed again. Now, they're different still. But you have always been there, watching. Changing clothes, changing thoughts, changing bodies, changing roles, but something behind it all remains. That stillness. That silent watcher. That presence behind the mask. That is you. In Zen, we call this the no-self. Strange name, right? But listen, no-self does not mean you don't exist. It means the idea you have of yourself is not fixed, is a construction. And that construction is the source of much suffering. You suffer when someone attacks your image. You suffer when things don't go your way. You suffer when reality doesn't match your idea of how life should be. All because you think the self is solid, permanent, defined. But it's not. Buddha realized this. He saw that what we call self is like a flame, flickering, shifting, a bundle of thoughts, emotions, habits, memories. Not a fixed thing, but a flowing process. When you understand this, something magical happens. You stop taking everything so personally. You stop needing to defend yourself all the time. You stop suffering when people don't approve of you. Because you realize the you they are judging isn't even real. It's just a shape their mind made. Let me share a small story. One day, a monk was walking through the market. A man shouted at him, called him worthless, useless, lazy. But the monk smiled gently and kept walking. A young boy nearby asked, "Why didn't you get angry?" The monk replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you don't take it, to whom does it belong?" The boy said, "It stays with the giver." The monk smiled again, then let him keep his anger. This monk had understood the truth of no self. He didn't see himself as someone to defend. He had no image to protect. He was free from the prison of identity. You can be free too. But first, you must question your identity. Ask yourself, am I this body? Then why does it change every year? Am I these thoughts? Then why do they come and go like clouds? Am I my emotions? Then why do they rise and fall like waves? What remains when all of these are silent? That is what you are. Not the storm, the sky, not the actor, the stage, not the role, the presence. This can feel strange at first, even scary, because the ego, the small self, wants control. It wants praise. It wants recognition. And when you start to loosen your grip, it panics. But if you keep watching patiently, softly, the illusion fades. And what's left is peace. A deep, silent peace. One that does not depend on what others say. One that does not need to prove anything. You no longer live from the surface. You live from the center. This is true power. Not the power to control others, but the power to remain calm when everything outside is falling apart. Because you know, none of it touches your true self. Let me give you a practice. When you feel disturbed, angry, anxious, hurt, pause. Close your eyes and ask, who is feeling this? Watch. Don't answer too quickly. Let the question sink into your being. You may notice the feeling is there, but you are watching it. You are not the anger. You are the witness. You are not the sadness. You are the space in which it comes and goes. And once you feel that, you are free. You'll no longer fight so hard to defend your image. You'll no longer break every time someone criticizes you. You'll no longer need to be somebody. You'll just be. And in that being, in that nothingness, in that absence of ego, you'll discover something beautiful. You'll discover peace. You'll discover love, not for me and mine, but for all things. Because when there is no solid self, there is no separation. There is only oneness. A tree, a river, a star, a stranger, all reflections of the same presence. Not something to conquer, not something to fear, but something to embrace. This is not philosophy. This is not belief. This is freedom. And it is not far. It is already here, in your breath, in your silence, in this very moment, as you listen. So let go of the old story. Let go of the need to be someone. And just rest in the mystery of being. You will not be lost. You will finally be found. The weight of thoughts, freeing yourself from mental noise. Cool, me. Sit down like we always do, without rush, without tension. Let your shoulders fall and your breathing soften. Let the mind be exactly how it is. If it's restless, let it be. If it's quiet, let it be. No need to fix anything right now. Today, I want to speak to you about something invisible, yet heavy. Thoughts. Not just any thoughts, but the weight of them. The constant, buzzing, clinging stream of thoughts that fills your mind from morning till night. Maybe even during your sleep. Have you ever noticed how tiring it is? Not because of your job or your body, but because of the noise in your head? So many people walk through life not tired of life, but tired of their own mind. And they don't even realize it. Let's look at this gently, slowly. From the moment you wake up, thoughts begin. What time is it? Did I oversleep? What should I wear today? I hope my boss doesn't say that again. Why did she message me like that yesterday? I need to succeed. I'm not doing enough. What if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if they don't love me? And so on, like a machine that never shuts off. This is the weight I'm speaking about. You may think, but I can't help it. That's just how my mind works. Ah, dear one, but that's not the truth. It's how your habit works, not your mind. Your mind, by its true nature, is clear, open, light, like the sky. Thoughts are like clouds. They pass. But if you've never seen the clear sky because of the constant clouds, you might think this is just how it is. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be? Let me explain through a story. A Zen student once came to his master, overwhelmed with anxiety. He said, "Master, my mind is full of noise. I try to stop it, but it doesn't work. It's too much. I feel trapped inside my own head." The master served him tea and said nothing. The student waited. Finally, he said again, "What should I do with all these thoughts?" The master simply said, "Put them down." The student frowned. "How do I put them down? They are inside me." The master smiled and pointed to the cup. "If you're holding a cup and your hand gets tired, what do? The student replied, "I put the cup down." "Exactly," said the master. "Your thoughts are not you. You're just holding them too tightly." The student paused. Something inside him clicked. This is the key I want to give you today. You're not your thoughts. You are the one who is holding them. And holding too many thoughts, too tightly, too often, that is what creates the heaviness in your chest, the tension in your face, the tiredness behind your eyes. So how do we begin to free ourselves? First, we must become aware, not of one or two thoughts, but of the entire movement of thought. Begin by watching how your mind reacts to even the smallest things. Someone doesn't reply to your message. Thought, did I do something wrong? You see someone more successful. Thought, I'm not enough. You remember a mistake. Thought, I should have done better. These seem small, but they build up. Each thought, if not seen clearly, leaves a trace. It sticks. It clings. It adds weight. But the moment you see the thought clearly, without judging it, without believing it, just watching it, it begins to dissolve. This is not imagination. This is real. Try it now. Close your eyes for a few moments. Let your next thought come. Don't chase it. Don't run from it. Just look at it like you'd look at a leaf floating on a river. Now let it pass. This practice, repeated again and again, brings lightness to your being. Soon, your mind becomes like a clear sky again. Not because thoughts don't arise, but because you don't cling to every cloud that passes. Let me say this gently. Most of your thoughts are not helpful. They are repetitive, often negative, often based on fear or insecurity. Many are not even your own. They are borrowed from parents, society, media. So why carry all of them? Let your mind become like a guest house. Thoughts come. They stay for a moment. Then they go. You don't have to invite every guest to live there forever. In Buddhism, we call this practice right mindfulness, the ability to see what is arising in the mind without becoming attached to it. Right mindfulness is not about having only positive thoughts. It is about seeing all thoughts with clarity without letting them control your behavior. You stop being a slave. You become free. Let me give you another example. Imagine you're walking down the street, and a stranger suddenly yells at you. Your mind might explode with thoughts. Why did he yell? Did I do something wrong? What a terrible person. But if you pause and simply watch these thoughts come and go, without reacting, you remain free. You're no longer dragged into anger or confusion. You are anchored. You are light. That's what happens when you stop feeding every thought with your attention. Now, I know, it's not easy at first. The mind is loud. Some days it's wild. That's okay. Freedom comes through gentle repetition. Start small. Every morning, take 5 minutes to just sit and observe. Don't try to stop your thoughts. Just observe, oh, a thought is here. And then, now it's gone. That's all. Like watching waves on a shore. No judgment, just attention. And over time, your mind will change. Your relationship with your thoughts will change. You'll begin to feel more space inside you. Not heavy and full, but spacious and open. That space is your natural state. Not noise, not tension, but space, stillness, clarity. When the Buddha was asked, "What have you gained from meditation?" he replied, "Nothing. But let me tell you what I have lost," he said. Anger, anxiety, insecurity, fear of death. He didn't gain peace. He lost the weight of thoughts. And in losing that, he became light. So you too must begin not by chasing more, but by letting go. Let go of the habit of thinking everything through. Let go of the need to solve every imagined problem. Let go of the thought that you must think your way into peace. You won't. You must watch your way into peace. Let thoughts come. Let thoughts go. And in between, you will begin to notice something sacred. A silence. A deep, ancient silence that lives beneath all noise. That silence is not empty. It is full of presence, full of wisdom, full of the real you. So take your time, dear one. Don't fight the mind. Just see it clearly again and again. And you will discover what cannot be taught, only experienced. Freedom from the weight of thoughts. And once you taste that freedom, you'll never want to return to the prison of noise again. Non-attachment, the path to real freedom. Come, sit again. Let's talk. Not like teacher and student, but like two human beings sitting quietly in the shade of truth. No masks here, no roles, just this moment and us. Today, I will speak to you about something gentle but powerful, something misunderstood by many, but known deeply by the wise. Non-attachment. When people hear this word, many think it means not caring. That is a mistake. Non-attachment does not mean your heart turns cold. It means your heart becomes free. Let me explain. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you hold it too tightly, you hurt it. If you hold it too loosely, it flies away. But if you open your palms and let it rest there by its own will, you experience its beauty without fear. That's what non-attachment is. Holding life gently. Not clinging, not forcing, not fearing. But being with things fully without needing them to stay forever. You see, everything you love will one day change. That is not a threat. That is a fact. Your body will change. The people you love will change. Your home, your job, your situation, all will shift like clouds in the sky. If you tie your happiness to those things staying the same, you will suffer. And that's what most people do. They say, I will be happy if this person stays, or if I don't lose this job, or if life doesn't take this away from me. But life does change, and when it does, they fall apart. Why? Because of attachment. Attachment says, this must stay the way I want. Non-attachment says, this is beautiful now. I will love it while it's here. Do you feel the difference? One is tight, the other is open. One is fear, the other is trust. Let me share a story. A Zen Master once had a beautiful teacup, handmade, with delicate colors. He used it every day with great care. One day, his student asked, Master, aren't you afraid it will break? The master smiled and said, to me, the cup is already broken. The student was confused. But it's still here. Yes, the master said, but in my mind, I have accepted that it will not last. So I can enjoy it deeply now without fear of losing it. This is the secret. When you accept impermanence, you love more, not less. You live more deeply, not less. You stop wasting energy trying to control what you cannot control. And instead, you become free. People think they are protecting themselves by holding tightly, but in truth, they are imprisoning themselves. Look at your life. What are you holding too tightly? Is it a relationship? Is it a dream that no longer fits you? Is it a version of yourself you're afraid to let go? What would happen if you soften your grip? Would the thing disappear, or would your suffering disappear? Let's be clear. Non-attachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean you don't love. It means you love without fear, without needing to own, without needing to control. When you love with attachment, your love becomes heavy. You say things like, I can't live without you. I'll be nothing if I lose this. If this ends, I'll break. This is not love. This is fear wearing love's mask. True love, with non-attachment, says, I love you now, as you are. If tomorrow you must go, I will still be whole. This kind of love is peaceful. It breathes. It doesn't grasp or beg. And most importantly, it doesn't lose itself. You do not disappear inside someone else. You remain whole, rooted, free. Let's talk about another form of attachment, the attachment to identity. Many people suffer not because of others, but because they cannot let go of who they think they should be. They say, I'm a successful person, I must not fail. Or, I'm a strong person, I must not cry. Or, I'm a giver, I must not say no. This is another prison. You're not a fixed shape. You are not one label. You are a living, breathing presence, always changing, always flowing. Let go of the need to be someone, and simply be. Even your thoughts, don't attach to them. They are not you. Let them rise. Let them fall. No need to hold. No need to push. Just observe. Just breathe. This is non-attachment in daily life. It is not distant or cold. It is warm, kind, full of awareness. It is seeing the flower and not plucking it, but still enjoying its scent. It is hearing the song and not needing to own it, but still feeling its rhythm in your chest. It is letting people come and go, and still loving them fully while they are near. Now I ask you, can you walk through this day with open hands? Can you love without clinging? Can you work without being obsessed with results? Can you rest without guilt? Can you feel your feelings, joy, sadness, fear, and let them pass without trying to trap them? This is the practice of the free one. This is the way of the open heart. Let me give you one more image. Imagine the sky. Clouds come, clouds go, but the sky doesn't hold them. The sky remains untouched. Be like the sky. Let things pass through you. Let experiences come. Let them go. You are not here to possess life. You are here to witness it, to feel it, to walk gently through it, with awareness, with grace, with non-attachment. Each time you release something, a fear, a belief, a demand, you become lighter. You begin to float, not above life, but deeply inside it, but now with space, with peace. This is not something to force. It is something to practice, gently. Each day, notice where you're holding too tightly, and then soften, just a little, and a world will open, and your heart will breathe. And one day, you will look back and realize, you are never losing anything. You are simply making space for freedom, silence within, cultivating mindful stillness. Come here, sit beside me. You don't need to bring anything. Not your worries, not your plans, not even your words. Just bring your breath and your presence. Today, I want to talk to you about something rare in this world. Something so simple, yet forgotten. Something so quiet, yet powerful beyond measure. Silence. Not the silence outside, the silence within. In this world, everything is loud. Phones are loud. News is loud. People are loud. Even your thoughts, maybe the loudest of all. Always speaking, always pulling, always judging, fearing, planning. But silence? Silence is different. Silence does not shout. It does not chase. It simply is. Still, present, deep. And in that stillness, something awakens. Something ancient. Something peaceful. Something more you than even your own name. Let me ask you, when was the last time you sat without music? Without phone? Without conversation? Without even your inner commentary? When was the last time you allowed yourself to just be, not doing, not thinking, not fixing? For many, the answer is, I don't remember. That's because we've been trained to fear silence. We think silence is empty. We think silence is boring. But the truth is, silence is not empty. Silence is full of everything you've been searching for. Peace, clarity, freedom. Let me share a story with you. A young man once came to a Zen Master and asked, "What is the secret to your wisdom?" The Master said nothing. The man waited. Still, the Master sat silently, looking at the trees. The man became uncomfortable and said, "Aren't you going to answer me?" The Master smiled and said, "I just did. You see, The deepest truths are not found in noise. They are revealed in silence. In that space where the mind stops speaking, the soul begins whispering. But to hear it, you must slow down. You must become quiet. You must stop filling every gap with words, with distractions, with mental noise. Let me tell you something clearly. You are not tired because you've done too much. You are tired because you've been too loud inside. Even when your body is resting, your mind is racing, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, trying to fix everything, trying to be someone, trying to explain yourself to people who are never really listening. And in all this noise, you've lost something simple and sacred, your silence. But here's the good news. It has never left you. It's always been there, like the ocean beneath the waves, like the sky behind the clouds, like the ground beneath your feet. Steady, quiet, alive. So how do you return to it? You don't need to run to the mountains. You don't need to escape your life. You simply need to sit. Sit and listen. Listen, not to the world, but to the stillness inside you. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Feel the air move in. Feel the air move out. And don't try to add anything to this moment. Just be. At first, the mind will resist. It will throw noise at you, memories, worries, plans. Let them come. Let them pass. Don't fight them. Don't follow them. Just return to the breath. Again and again. And soon, the noise will begin to quiet down. Not by force, but by your gentle attention, by your refusal to feed the noise. And in that space, a silence will rise. A silence not created, but uncovered. A silence that holds you like a mother, that embraces you without words, that teaches you without sound. This is not ordinary silence. This is living silence. In Buddhism, we call this the silence of presence, the silence that remains when you're fully here in this moment without needing it to be different. In that silence, fear melts. In that silence, you remember who you are, not your story, not your image, but your essence. Let me give you an image. Imagine a muddy pond. If you keep stirring it, it stays cloudy. But if you leave it still, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. Your mind is that pond, and silence is the stillness that lets the mud settle. You don't need to fix the mind. You just need to stop stirring it all the time. Let it rest. Let it settle, and clarity will appear on its own. You don't need to chase silence. You just need to stop running from it and trust that in the silence, nothing is missing. The world teaches you to always be doing, but the soul teaches you to sometimes just be. So today, try this. Find 5 minutes. Sit quietly. No phone, no music, just your breath. And let whatever comes come, and let it go. You may feel restless at first. That's okay. You may feel uncomfortable. That's okay too. Stay anyway. Stay long enough to hear the whisper behind the thoughts. That whisper is you. Not your voice, but your being. And the more you listen to it, the lighter you will feel. The more rooted, the more peaceful. In time, you will carry this silence into everything. Into conversations, you will speak less, but more truthfully. Into conflict, you will react less and respond more wisely. Into your heart, you will hold less noise and more grace. You will not be empty. You will be full of presence. And others will feel it too. They may not say it out loud, but they will feel something different in you. A stillness, a depth, a quiet strength. That is the power of inner silence. It cannot be bought. It cannot be faked. It must be lived. So live it, even if just for a few moments each day. And you will discover something amazing. You don't need more to be at peace. You need less. Less noise, less doing, less pretending, and more silence, more presence, more being. That is your true home. That is the ground beneath all this life. And it's always waiting. Inside you. Right here. Right now. Embracing impermanence. The flow of life. Come, sit with me again. Let us breathe together. Let the world slow down for a moment. Today, I want to talk about something that touches every heart, every living being, every moment of your life. It is the great truth of impermanence. Impermanence means everything changes. Everything moves. Nothing stays the same. At first, this truth may feel unsettling because you want things to last. You want moments of happiness to stay. You want your loved ones to never leave. You want your health, your youth, your comfort, your peace to remain forever. But life, by its very nature, flows like a river. The river never stops. Water here is never the same water there. It moves, shifts, and changes continuously. The sun rises and sets. The seasons turn. Your breath flows in and out. And so do all things. Nothing is fixed. Nothing is permanent. This is the great rhythm of existence. In Buddhism, we call this anicca, the constant flow, the endless change. When you understand this deeply, you begin to see your life differently. You begin to see your suffering differently. Because much of suffering comes from resisting this flow, from clinging to what must change, from fighting the inevitable. Let me share with you a story. Once a young man came to the Buddha and said, "I am afraid to lose the people I love. I want to hold them close, never let them go." The Buddha smiled gently and said, "Look at the flowers in the garden. Are they always the same?" The young man looked. "No. They bloom, and then they fade." The Buddha said, "If you love the flowers only when they bloom, you'll be sad when they fade. But if you love them as they are, in their change, you will find peace." This is the wisdom of impermanence. Life's beauty is in its flow. Your joy is not in holding on tightly, but in embracing change. When you accept impermanence, you stop fearing loss. You stop resisting endings. You stop trying to fix what is naturally moving. Instead, you learn to dance with the river. You learn to flow with life. This does not mean you become passive. It means you become wise. You don't waste energy fighting what cannot be changed. You become flexible, like bamboo bending in the wind. You find strength not in rigidity, but in acceptance. Let me ask you, when you hold onto a hot coal, who gets burned? You. So why hold? Why suffer? Why clutch at what slips like water? The river never asks you to carry it. It flows freely. You too can flow freely. You don't need to carry the past. You don't need to hold the future. You only have this moment. And this moment is changing. So breathe into it. Feel it. Let it pass. Sometimes impermanence feels sad. You miss a friend who has gone. You grieve a lost dream. You feel pain in a broken heart. This is natural. Impermanence carries joy and sorrow. But when you accept that nothing stays forever, you find a deeper peace. Because even the sorrow will pass. Even the pain will fade. The river flows on. And so do you. Let me tell you another story. There was once a man who lived by the sea. Every day, he walked along the shore, collecting shells. One day, a big storm came. It destroyed his collection. He was heartbroken. But the next morning, he went back to the beach. He saw new shells, different shapes, different colors. He realized the sea is always changing. And so is life. The loss made space for new beauty. This is the gift of impermanence. When something ends, something new begins. This is not a cycle of loss, but a circle of life. You are part of that circle. You cannot stop it, but you can live with it. You can cherish the moments. You can hold love lightly. You can watch life's dance without fear. And in doing so, you free yourself. You free your mind from the trap of forever. You open your heart to the present. The present is where life happens. Not in the past, which is gone. Not in the future, which is unknown. But right here, right now, breathing, changing, living. You may ask, how do I live with impermanence without feeling lost? The answer is simple. Be present. When you are fully present, change does not frighten you. When you watch a flower bloom and fade, you do not grieve because you saw its whole beauty. When you hold a loved one, you love them with all your heart, knowing this moment is precious. When you feel pain, you breathe into it, knowing it too will pass. This is not detachment. This is deep connection. It is love without grasping. It is presence without fear. And it is freedom. Your life is a river, not a rock, not a cage. A flowing, vibrant, moving river. Join the flow. Trust the flow. And let go. You'll find peace. You'll find joy. You will find freedom. Letting go of control. Trusting the natural order of life. Come, sit again. Let the noise of the world rest at the edge of your ears. Today, we speak of something you carry quietly, often without realizing, a deep habit that exhausts the mind and tightens the heart. The need to control. So many are tired, not from work, not from life itself, but from the burden of trying to control everything. You try to control your future. You try to control others. You try to control your emotions. You even try to control what people think of you, though their thoughts live in a world you will never see. And this silent, endless effort breaks your spirit. It takes your peace. But why do you try so hard to control? Because you think control will keep you safe. Because your mind says, if I don't hold on tightly, everything will fall apart. But this is an illusion. Control is not real safety. It is only a temporary illusion of stability built on fear. Let me show you something very simple. Have you ever tried to hold water in your hand? If you keep your palm open, the water stays for a while. But if you close your fist and try to trap it, it slips away. That is how life works. The tighter you hold, the faster it escapes. But if you soften your grip, if you trust, it stays longer and you suffer less. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who built a sandcastle on the beach. He worked for hours, carving every shape perfectly, making it strong and beautiful. Then the tide began to rise. He panicked, trying to build walls around it, trying to push the sea away. He shouted at the waves, but the ocean kept coming. Finally, exhausted, he sat down and watched as the water gently washed everything away. And then something surprising happened. Instead of pain, he felt peace. Because he finally let go. He realized the sea is not his enemy. It's simply doing what the sea does. And life is the same. You can't fight the tide forever. You can't stop change. You can't stop others from being who they are. You can't force every outcome to go your way. But you can learn to let go. You can learn to ride the waves instead of drowning in them. This is not weakness. This is deep inner strength. In Zen, we say, the bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that breaks. Flexibility is power. Trust is peace. You may ask, but how do I let go? Start small. Start with the little things. When something doesn't go as planned, pause. Feel the discomfort, but don't react. Don't fight. Don't try to fix what is already flowing away. Just breathe, observe, allow, then notice. Even without your control, life still moves forward. The sky does not ask your permission to rain. The flower does not check with you before blooming. The river does not pause until you are ready. Life unfolds beautifully, mysteriously, on its own. When you stop trying to control it, you become part of it. You stop being a rigid block, and you become the stream. Let me give you a simple practice. Every morning, close your eyes for a moment and say softly to yourself, I let go of what I cannot control. I trust life to guide me. You might not believe it at first. That's okay. Say it anyway. Say it every day. And slowly, like clouds clearing from the sky, the need to control will soften. Your breath will deepen. Your steps will lighten. You'll still make efforts, but you won't cling to outcomes. You'll still care, but without anxiety. You'll still love, but without fear of loss. This is real freedom. It does not come from mastering the world. It comes from letting the world be. You are not here to control every piece of the puzzle. You are here to live your peace with grace, with kindness, with presence. Let others live theirs. Let time move as it must. Let feelings rise and fall like the tide. Let moments come and go like the wind. And trust that even when things don't make sense, even when it hurts, even when it's messy, life is not against you. It is guiding you. Not always where you want, but always where you need to go. Sometimes, the plan you tried to control was too small for the life waiting for you. Sometimes, losing control is how you find your real strength. Like a bird pushed from the nest, discovering it can fly. Like a tree dropping its leaves, trusting spring will return. Like the moon changing phases, never needing to be full to shine. So let go. Let go of the idea that you must fix everything. Let go of the belief that peace comes only when everything is in your hands. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of the fear that if you stop controlling, everything will fall apart. It won't. In fact, you might finally see things fall into place. You might see how much energy you've wasted trying to swim against the current when all you had to do was float. You might see how much more beautiful life becomes when you let it surprise you. Yes, not every surprise will be easy, but every one will grow you. So trust, not blindly, but with awareness, with eyes open, with a heart that says, I am here, I am listening, I am not afraid, because life does not need to be controlled. It needs to be lived. And when you live without clinging, when you move through your days with open hands and a soft heart, you become something rare. You become peaceful in a chaotic world. You become calm in the face of change. You become light in the heaviness of life. And that is true power. That is the still mind, the free mind, the mind that no longer fights the tide, but flows with it gracefully, gently, joyfully. The power of being present, living fully in this moment. Cool me. Sit here as you are. Don't fix your posture. Don't fix your thoughts. Just bring yourself. Today, we speak about something so simple that most people miss it completely. They look far. They chase endlessly. But what they're looking for is always right here in front of them. What is it? The present moment. This moment, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not what may happen or what already passed. Just this now. The breath you are taking, the air touching your skin, the feeling in your body, the silence around the words. This is life, but we miss it because we are always somewhere else, thinking about the next thing, worrying about the last thing, scrolling, chasing, planning, regretting. Always there, never here. And in this habit of being elsewhere, we lose something sacred. We lose the present. And when you lose the present, you lose the only place where life truly happens. Not in your mind, not in your memories, not in your fears, but in this very moment. Right now, let me ask you, how many moments in your day do you live fully? When you eat, are you tasting? When you walk, are you feeling the ground? When you talk, are you listening, truly listening? Or is your mind always running ahead, making lists, building stories? That's what most people do. They live like ghosts, physically here, but mentally somewhere else. Their body moves, but their mind is in the past or the future. And so they miss their own life. But you don't have to live that way. You can return, right now, to this breath, to this sound, to this simple, sacred moment. Let me share a story. A student once asked a Zen master, "What is your practice?" The master replied, "When I eat, I eat. When I walk, I walk. When I sleep, I sleep." The student laughed. "But everyone does that." The master looked at him and said, "No. When you eat, you think. When you walk, you talk. When you sleep, you worry. That is the difference. Presence is not about what you do. It is about how you do it. With attention, with awareness, with full heart. Even the smallest act becomes holy when done with presence. Drinking tea becomes meditation. Washing dishes becomes prayer. Sitting quietly becomes enlightenment. But for this to happen, you must slow down. The modern world pushes you to rush. Hurry to the next thing. Multitask. Be busy, as if busyness is the sign of importance. But in Zen, we say, when walking, just walk. One thing, one step, one breath. That is enough. When you are present, even your breath feels different. You begin to notice its warmth, its rhythm, its gentle rise and fall. And in that noticing, your mind begins to quiet. Your heart begins to soften. And you begin to feel something that's been missing. Peace. Not peace from having everything figured out, but peace from finally being here. This is not complicated. You don't need to study for years. You don't need to go far. You just need to stop and look. Look at the tree instead of just walking past it. Feel the spoon in your hand instead of rushing through your meal. Listen to your child's voice instead of thinking about what to say next. Return what is real, not what is imagined. This is presence. It is not passive. It is not lazy. It is awake, alive, fully engaged with life. And the more present you become, the more deeply you live. Colors become brighter. Moments become deeper. Connections become more sincere. Even pain becomes more honest and easier to heal. Because now, you're no longer running from life. You're living it. You may ask, how do I practice presence? Let me show you. Start with one breath. Right now, Inhale slowly. Feel the air enter your body. Now exhale slowly. Feel the breath leaving you. That's it. You are now present. The mind may pull you again. That's okay. Just come back to the breath. Again and again. It's like training a puppy. Gently, patiently, lovingly. Bring it back. And every time you do, you strengthen your presence. Not just in meditation, but in life. When you speak, speak with awareness. When you walk, feel the steps. When you feel emotions, don't run, stay. Let the sadness be here. Let the joy be here. Let everything come and go, and stay present with it all. In Buddhism, this is called mindfulness, but not just thinking. It is a full body presence, a full heart presence. You become like a still pond, reflecting everything clearly. You do not react blindly. You respond wisely. You are no longer trapped in the noise of the mind. You are rooted in this moment. And this moment is enough. It is always enough, because it is real. The past is a memory. The future is imagination. Only the present is alive. Only now is sacred. Let me offer you one more image. Imagine standing in the rain. If your mind is elsewhere, you will complain about getting wet. But if you are present, you may feel something magical. The drops on your skin, the scent of the earth, the sound of water. Suddenly, the rain is not a problem. It is poetry. This is the power of presence. It turns ordinary life into extraordinary experience. It brings you home, to yourself, to your body, to the breath, to this sacred now. So I invite you, throughout your day, pause often, touch the moment, really taste your food, really look at the sky, really hear the wind. And when your mind pulls you away, gently return. Say softly to yourself, "Come back, my dear. Be here," and you will see. You don't need more. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to be here, fully, lovingly, gratefully, because this is where life happens. Not later, not someday. Now, the mind is a mirror, seeing things as they are. Sit with me one more time. There is nothing to prepare. You don't have to be in a perfect mood. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to be here. That is enough. Today, I will speak to you like a mirror speaks, silently but clearly, because this part of our journey is not about adding more. It's about clearing what is already there, like cleaning dust from a glass, like wiping a foggy mirror until it shows your real reflection. You see, your mind is like a mirror. It reflects everything it sees. People, situations, thoughts, emotions. But over time, the mirror becomes clouded, not because of the world outside, but because of what we carry inside. Judgments, assumptions, old wounds, fears, opinions. All of these leave fingerprints on the glass. So when you look through it, what do you see? You see not the world as it is, but the world through your thoughts, through your pain, through your expectations. This is why two people can go through the same situation, and one feels peace, while the other feels chaos. The difference is not the world. The difference is the mirror. So today I ask you this. What do you carry on your mirror? Is it old anger? Is it sadness you never let yourself feel? Is it a story about who you are? A story that keeps repeating? Let's pause. Let's look gently. Let's not judge what we find. Let's just see clearly. Because only when we see clearly can we truly be free. Imagine you're walking through a garden. There's beauty everywhere. Trees, flowers, birdsong. But if your glasses are dirty, you won't see it. You may even believe the garden is dull or lifeless. But is it the garden? Or is it the lens? In the same way, many people walk through life believing things are always wrong. That people are cruel. That life is unfair. But often, it's the dust on their mirror, not the truth. Zen is not about changing the world. Zen is about seeing it clearly. And when the mirror is clean, what you see is simple. But that simplicity is powerful. You see people not as enemies, but as reflections of your own emotions. You see challenges not as punishment, but as teachers. You see sadness not as weakness, but as a message that you need care. You see joy not as a thing to chase, but as something that's already here when the mind becomes still. Let me share a Zen story with you. A monk once asked his master, "What is the way?" The master replied, "Your ordinary mind, just as it is. The monk was confused. But my ordinary mind is full of thoughts. The master said, yes. But when you stop following them and just watch, they pass. Like clouds in the sky. And behind those clouds, the clear blue sky, always present. That sky is your true mind. Unmoved, open, quiet. It doesn't need fixing. It only needs uncovering. So how do we clean the mirror? How do we return to clarity? Not by force, not by thinking harder, but by stillness, by awareness, by letting go of what is not needed. One by one, a judgment arises, you see it, and you let it pass. A fear comes, you feel it, but you don't feed it. A thought repeats, you notice, and return to your breath. This is the gentle art of returning, not to a better version of yourself, but to your real self, the one that is already whole, already free, already at peace. You may ask, how can I live with a clear mind in a messy world? The answer is, don't expect the world to be clean. Let it be what it is, but keep your mirror clear, and you will move through life with grace. A calm presence, a soft strength, a deep knowing that nothing can truly disturb you unless you hold it. Let others throw stones into the river. You remain the still water that absorbs the ripple, but returns to calm. Let noise happen. You remain silence. Let confusion come. You remain the open space that holds it without becoming it. Let me give you a small practice. When you feel lost in thoughts, pause. Ask gently, is this real or just dust on my mirror? Maybe it's a fear from the past. Maybe it's a story you've outgrown. Maybe it's just the noise of the world echoing inside you. Whatever it is, see it and release it again and again. Don't worry if it returns. That's okay. Just keep cleaning, like a kind gardener tending the soil, like the wind blowing leaves from a path, like the morning sun melting the mist. Clarity is not a destination. It is a practice, a rhythm, a way of seeing. And the more you practice, the more peaceful life becomes. Because now, you're not living in reactions. You're living in awareness. You become soft like water, strong like mountains, free like the sky, and peaceful like the moon, shining quietly, even when the clouds come. Remember, you don't need to control the thoughts. You don't need to fight the emotions. You only need to see clearly. And when the mirror is clean, you realize something beautiful. You don't have to chase peace. You are peace. You don't have to become something better. You're already whole. The mind just needed to remember. So sit, breathe, notice, and gently wipe the mirror of the mind. One breath at a time. The mind is already free. You just forgot. Come close. This is the final time we sit together in this journey. No rush now. No need to hurry to the end. The end is not something we reach. It is something we remember. And today, I will remind you of something that you may have forgotten in the noise of the world. It is this. Your mind is already free. Yes, already. Not someday. Not when you achieve more. Not when you become perfect. Not when the world finally behaves as you want it to. But now, you're already free. You were born that way. But then, slowly, things cover that freedom. Like leaves covering a quiet pond. Like clouds hiding the sun. Like dust gathering on a still mirror. Not because you were wrong. Not because you were broken. But simply because that's how life works. You grew up. You learned names for things. You were told what to want. What to be. What to fear. You absorbed the world's noise. Other people's thoughts, judgments, expectations. And slowly, you stopped hearing your own silence. You stopped trusting your own stillness. But that quiet place, it never left. It just waited, patiently, like a mountain behind fog. Still there, still whole. And now, you've started remembering. You've been walking back to it, not by traveling far, but by going inward. With each breath, each pause, each moment of letting go, you've been returning to yourself, returning to freedom. Not a freedom you earn, but a freedom you recognize. Let's look back together. In this journey, you've sat in silence. You've seen the mind like a mirror. You've learned to let go. You've learned that presence is power. That life flows. That control is a myth. That stillness is strength. And slowly, your heart has softened. Your breath has deepened. Your eyes have opened, not outward but inward. This is no small thing. The world celebrates loud victories, money, fame, success. But this silent return to your true self, this is the real victory. And it needs no applause. It only needs truth. Let me share a final story. A disciple asked the Zen Master, "What is the final teaching?" The Master looked at him and said, "Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just this." The disciple frowned. "That sounds too simple." The Master smiled. "Exactly. The mind complicates what is already simple. And that is the key. It is simple. Freedom is simple. Peace is simple. Stillness is simple. But the mind loves complexity. It wants to fix, control, chase, solve. It wants to keep busy because in stillness, the ego disappears. And when ego disappears, truth appears. So what now? What do you do after hearing all these parts? You live. You live simply. You breathe gently. You walk softly. You speak kindly. You listen deeply. You forgive quickly. You release often. And you return again and again to this moment. This now. Because this now is always your home. In this now, nothing is missing. The wind moves. The heart beats. The breath flows. All is well. You may feel pain, yes. You may face uncertainty, yes. But you now know how to stay with it. Not run, not fight, but sit and breathe and watch. Because everything passes, and in the passing, you remain. Not as the busy mind, but as the still awareness watching the play. So what is the teaching? What is the secret? Here it is, as clearly and softly as I can say it. Let everything come. Let everything go. Stay still in the middle. And smile gently at it all. That is Zen. That is truth. That is freedom. And that is you. Not the you who is trying so hard, but the you who is already resting beneath the trying. So let this be your way now. Let this be your walk. You don't need to remember every word I said. You don't need to follow a perfect path. Just follow your breath. Return to your heart. Live in the present. And trust that you are already whole. Even when you forget. Even when you feel lost. The sky is still behind the clouds. And your true self is still behind the thoughts. You are free. You just forgot for a little while. Now you remember. And when you forget again, that's okay. Just come back. Come back here. To this silence. To this stillness. To this breath. And to this gentle truth. You don't need to become anything. You already are. This is the end of this journey together. But in truth, there is no end. Because truth is not a destination. It is a way of living, a way of being, a way of breathing. And it will walk with you every day if you allow it. If you found peace in these words, if you've remembered something quiet and beautiful inside you, then I invite you, softly, kindly, to support this path. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. So if this touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Because even one light, shared, can brighten the path for many. Let's keep this light alive. Together. Thank you for walking this journey. May you walk gently. May you see clearly. May you be free. Always, and always return to the breath.